the adventure of the clouded Kokoro, which means heart.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Alright, back over here. Let's see what the supreme cheese of law has to say about our last trial.
Did you sleep last night, Miss Nardo?
No. Not at all.
It was an anonymous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious. I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than day even in the middle of the night.
What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Beauty, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. Yeah, I know, right? And the jacuzzi? I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. And my god, they can offer like such great massages, too.
Yes. It really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare.
Ugh. Sorry about that. The building was so impressive, and the entrance so inviting. I wandered in without thinking.
In a lodging house in Japan, that sort of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year.
Place your bets. Maybe this is gonna be the running gag of this series when it comes to how poor we are. In the trilogy, we had the Detective Gumshoe and how Nick had to pay the bills and such of being a lawyer, and things were not always gonna go great for him when it comes to that sort of stuff. Now here, we are just adventuring ourselves, quote unquote, adventuring ourselves from one place to another, like a bunch of hobos, trying to find like places to stay in and sleep in like very, very expensive places and then just run away afterwards without paying much. Such is the life of a Londoner.
I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill.
I really am sorry. Okay, now please don't cry, Susato. You're gonna kill me with that expression there.
No, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less.
True. I mean, what are gonna be the chances that the next client that we're gonna have for the next trial, our next defendant, that is gonna be innocent this time around, is gonna be filthy rich as well, and they're gonna be able to help us with that? Ugh. London is a scary place. Ah, good morning to you at this early hour. Oh, yes, well.
Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday.
Sato-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presently imposing Lord Strongheart. Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices. A little bit too much of a trial for a beginner like Ryonosuke, you know. I mean, you could have just given him like a simple murder in an apartment room or something like that, with an obvious killer, with with a fake with a fake hair, like they're actually bald. Oh yeah, it was very eye-opening. Thank you.
And in accordance with your instructions, Long Strongheart, Miss Naruto performed his duty to the end.
Yes, I've already been apprised of that. Okay, well, what do you have to say about this, Strongheart? Let's see what his saying is gonna be about this. Like, no doubt he's gonna accept Ryonosuke into staying here for the duration of the, like, you know, how much he has to study in this country. But it kind of depends on how he views this victory. He conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed. Oh, are you a student from the Empire of Japan? You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land. Thank you very much. So I'm a lawyer now. No. In view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. Oh, okay. So I guess you're not gonna offer your opinions about the case? Yeah, I guess so. I'll agree to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem. Yeah, sure. Why not? Another case already? Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure. I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I? It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it. What's to come to terms with it? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for? The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to prefer judgment. Well, Lord Banzix, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fellow, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. I just cannot help wondering if Mr. McGilder really was innocent. Miss Naruto. It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended. Oh, you didn't let it trouble for you for a second, though. Sorry? What do you mean, Long Strongheart? Magnus McGilder passed away, immediately following the trial. What? No. What? But Mr. McGilder is dead? Okay, well, I did see that somebody was inside the omnibus. I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk. Okay, well, this is interesting. Well, can you tell us something about, well, actually, I am more curious about Rish, about this. So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court? Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was... wow. That's all I can say. Wow. Miss Naruto means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. Yeah, that's right. Steeped in solemnity, or whatever that word means. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. Wow. So Sato-san has such a way with words. It's so... wow.
Wow. You seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones.
The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can. The most advanced in the world, is it? He was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair. Simple affair?
Simple? That was simple?
As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose.
I don't mean to be contrary, Long Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple.
The circumstances of the case were so incriminating. I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I was still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Is something funny? No. My apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. You do seem to care a lot about the verdict and winning as such, Strongheart. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree? Well, I don't know about that. Oh, never mind. You exceeded my expectations. I freely admit. That much, at least, is an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I have prepared a new case for you that I mentioned before. What's going on? What was he going to say before? Yeah, so far I'm not liking this guy's answer. Like, how this guy viewed that case. Like, he had said nothing about finding the truth, he said nothing about Ryunosuke sticking to his own morals and principles when it comes to finding the truth above defending a client that was like McGilded right over there. In fact, he did say that it was gonna be an easy one for us. He surely must have knew that we would arrive to such a decision right over here. That we would arrive to this point. Whether he was thinking that that it was gonna end in a lack of evidence that would have us win, or I don't know, worst case scenario, maybe he knew that McGilded is not innocent, and he wanted us to win in this. Yeah, I'm not liking this one bit. I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead? After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. And you will presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom. Yeah, of course. And that was the sin of the crime which Mr. McGilded had been accused of. Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames. No.
How could such a thing have happened?
That is being investigated as we speak. But already, the police have identified the corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of Mr. McGilded. That's awful. The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. The bailiff really needs to pay more attention. I mean, jeez.
Now, how could that have happened?
That has also been investigated as we speak.
Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus.
Well, I must be making tracks now. This time for the inspection. Sorry, what inspection? We're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. Asked if I could be present for it myself. On the inspection of the omnibus. Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage. Ah, is that so? In which case... Now that I'm thinking about it... I did make a comment during the trial about how the bailiffs and such were to secure the omnibus while all that stuff happened, like the smoke grenade was launched. But in the end, the evidence was still tampered. And I feel like I remember that Zix said that it was the security's fault and such. And I was like, can we really fault the security for that one? I mean, it happens. Sometimes stuff like that can happen, like in the blink of an eye. But when I think of it like that, could it be possible that the security had let that happen on purpose? And to add to this moment right over here, where apparently somebody told McGilda that he was needed for the examination of the omnibus. But apparently the higher-ups such as Strongheart or like those of a higher power at Scotland Yard didn't even want that in the first place. Somebody told him, like, somebody told McGilda to go over there. Maybe somebody was inside the security who was tampering with this stuff in the first place. Huh. You know, this could actually explain where the carriage toolkit was in the first place, because they disappeared. But it makes you question, how did Gina manage to like hide all that stuff while all the commotion happened? Like, where did she send those toolkits in the first place? Well, the answer could be that a security guard or someone like hiding inside managed to get all that stuff from Gina and hide them while the trial was happening and such. Like, the security guard would definitely have the time, and they would hide themselves in order to like get away with all that toolkit stuff. And they could dispose of them wherever they want, like outside the court of law. Whereas Gina was captured by the security, so something told me that she wouldn't have enough time to hide all that stuff, but the security guard, when you least expect it, could be possible. But then who was Mr. McGilda talking about? Never mind that now. The art is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police. Okay. I feel like we're getting somewhere with this. I did say that the last case was not over in my eyes. And I feel like this new lead that we have here in regards to security, it may be something that we should investigate. But I guess this is going to be a long-term case at this point, because right now we're going to have to focus on this new case that Strongheart is offering us.
Poor Mr. McGilda.
Alrighty then. Which makes me question, like, whoever it was that let McGilda inside, and also tampered with the omnibus as well, to the point where they would hide, like, the toolkit and such, they must be connected to this case, possibly.
Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned?
Unless it is Zeke's. I mean... Well, you know, I feel like it was said before that Zeke's was known for past cases where apparently, mysteriously, like those who escaped scot-free or defended and such, they would die after the case, like mysteriously. It could very well be possible that Zeeks was the one who said that McGilded was needed for the re-examination of the omnibus, and, well, Zeeks basically killed McGilded by putting the omnibus on fire as such. But about that whole theory of hiding the omnibus toolkit, like taking it away from Gina, that does not fit whatsoever. So I don't know if it can really be Zeeks who done that. It could be like two separate things. Like somebody helped Gina to hide the omnibus toolkit, and Zeeks was the one who killed McGilded in that fashion. Or it can be the mysterious security guard was the one who did both. Don't tell me. It's a murder, and the trial starts in 10 minutes. Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. Okay, good. In fact, this case is completely different. Oh, I see. Did you just read my mind? Yeah, everybody reads your minds at this point. That is to say, no one has died. As yet. Oh? And trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research the case for you. Oh. Okay. I see. So, we're gonna be having an investigation and a trial. Just like good old times, apparently. But, also, is this one of those cases where somebody attempted to kill somebody and they are gonna be put on trial for attempted murder? So the one who was going to be a victim is not actually a victim. They are gonna be of help to us. That's cool. "23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise." So the trial's tomorrow then.
Is everything alright?
Yeah, just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was so... Yesterday's trial was so... Well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer.
Oh, it's narrowed down.
Don't worry, champ. I'm sure that once you get like a victory in a trial the right way, finding the true culprit and defending your innocent defendant and such, it will surely give you, like, the courage and the spirit to continue forward as a lawyer, I tell ya. It is good to see a defendant smile at the end of the trial to clear them off suspicion and guiltiness. If I could face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. McGilded's trial. Ah yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case. Oh, stronger, please. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense. The situation remains unchanged. The trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unpresented. After that happens, I need to remind you of the inevitable outcome.
The most terrible and always the defendant.
Yes, that's right. Here we go again. Well, you know, with Zeke's on the loose right now, so to speak, quote unquote, on the loose, that's probably going to happen like a lot. Not that many people are going to accept the job as a defense attorney when Zeke's is in opposition. Your time is up. You will have to excuse me. Otherwise, you have to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits. Last time he mentioned the 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time. And one more thing, Mr. Naruto. There is something I should like to ask you. Oh, what's that? Yesterday, you remarked upon something. that you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi. Oh. I will be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds. Oh, well, Kazuma always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world worked, so he could change ours in Japan. Now he is gone. I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing.
Oh,
Another thing. Continue. On the way here, on the steamship, he had said something to me. There's something very important that I have to do. Something very important? And what exactly would that be? He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he hadn't made it to... You're out of time. No. Thank you for an enlightening discussion.
Miss Naruto, what's all this about? Mr. Asagi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me.
I urge you both to focus your attentions on the matter at hand. I take the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. Oh? He'll be able to apprise you of the details. How long has he been there? So, I wish you the best of luck, and bid you farewell.
There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what do you mean?
I wish I knew. Well, also, he never told me. Anyway, I better talk to the detective, don't you think?
Yes, you're right.
Man, you know, I've been thinking, if we actually had Sholmes on the last case, I mean, of course, it's part for the course. If we had Sholmes on any of our cases, every case would go swimmingly. We wouldn't be having situations like we had before. Because he has photographic devices and such. You will be able to, like, something tells me he is a sneaky person. He would do like things in a sneakily way, in the sense that maybe he would destroy, like, he wouldn't be on the case, but if he wanted to help us like further, he would have, I don't know, he would have distracted the court in a way that he himself would enter inside the omnibus without us knowing, and he would photograph the place a little bit and then escape without anyone noticing, and then we would continue the trial. And when at the end we would have this situation where we wouldn't have like any decisive evidence, and it is left unknown what the truth is, Sholmes would appear and be all, aha, hold on, but I do have decisive evidence. And then we would present the omnibus photograph, like inside the omnibus, without the blood, and the compartment would be filled at that point with the repair toolkits, and thus we would win in a good way. You know, I feel like if Sholmes was with us there, something like that would have happened. But okay, I guess we have like a new detective right over here. Let's see what this guy is gonna be about. I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. Is he eating fries? Hello? Could we trouble you? What do you think? Lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with anything? Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English getting eaten out of your hand, no. Sorry, what? Sato-san told me it was foolproof. I'm a busy man. A very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate. But I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking to. Oh, I am ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying? Haven't seen Ed Gregson anywhere, have you? No. He's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because of some bumpkin who is here on a jaunt from a country I've never been able to heard. Hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard going to tatters. Well, there's no need to rip us apart as well.
I don't believe we've been introduced. Let's talk like normal human beings right over here and introduce ourselves. This is Mr. Jonas Gunnarsson, a defense lawyer.
Eh?
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Sus.
Hey!
It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it?
Uh-oh. What, is this guy having like a crush on Susato, or what's going on here?
It is unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine.
Unbelievable. How did she pull that off?
So,
Long Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I am from Scotland Yard. Tobias Gregson. Tobias Gregson. I honestly don't remember that name. If he is also from like a Sherlock Holmes story.
Gregson? Inspector Gregson?
What's the matter with Sato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? Hello there, Mr. Inspector Gregson.
Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson?
I feel like you know this man, Miss Sato. He's a London detective.
Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact.
Very well.
Yeah, he features prominently in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
I had a feeling that that name would be featured in a Sherlock Holmes story, but I just don't know where. Tobias Gregson. Actually, let me see if that name is actually fictional in just Great Ace Attorney, or he exists. Tobias Gregson. No, apparently, like, like, my first search of Tobias Gregson shows me, like, great Ace Attorney stuff, so I'm just gonna close that, like, right now, so that I don't get spoiled. I don't know if, like, I assume that if I were to write, like, Tobias Gregson, I would get, like, searches for the actual books and such. Actually, let me do this again. Tobias Gregson. Like, is the whole page just Great Ace Attorney stuff? Oh, hold on a second. There is a wiki page over here. Minor Sherlock Holmes characters. The list includes Dr. Watson, Moriarty, Lestrade, Mycroft, inspectors, Baines, Bradstreet? Gregson, there you go. Let's see. The Scotland Yard inspector was first introduced a study in okay. A study in Scarlet, of course. I feel like now I remember. Okay. I mean, even the second case that we had on SS Beauty, I referenced a study in Scarlet as well, so yeah, I guess it makes sense.
That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Holmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry.
Really? You rival the great Mr. Holmes? Well, that's incredible. Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Holmes isn't a professional like myself, of course. But he does come up with the goods from time to time.
Mr. Holmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. And Gregson is the pick of a bat of all the Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words.
Well, That's his highest praise.
Well, Mr. Shums isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
That he is not. And thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. Well, that's great, isn't it? I have to admit that to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand. And my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Oh, that's wonderful. No, it is not! There is nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. Now whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure. Rumors?
Are you quite sure?
He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that.
Gosh. Do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper. So I cannot catch exactly what they're saying. But I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as X is X. I get a feeling this detective could very well... I get a feeling this detective could be very hard work.
Oh dear. Perhaps the sudden rise to fame does change people.
I guess so. Alright. Continuing on. So, what's the sitch? So, about the case that the Lord Cheese Justice mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it won't be simpler.
Oh dear. That probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it can be more complicated.
I wish we were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in hospital, unconscious.
That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind?
I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with a subtle takedown, would you?
That is neither here nor there, Miss Naruto.
Brace yourself, I'm asking. You've angered her now. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit.
Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question?
Okay, let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Excuse me? There's nothing I can do. There's no way to help the block now. Why ever the fuck not? Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Baroque Van Six. And? Oh. Sounds like you've heard of him then.
Yeah, we're very familiar with Lord Van Six. All too familiar with the Harbinger of Death itself.
The Leaper of the Baby. Okay, well, I don't care. Just... Okay, well, we are gonna talk about him, but we don't care about that. We still need the information for the investigation. Lord Baroque Van Six, who we faced in court only yesterday.
Mr. McGilda told us about him before the trial, didn't he?
And Van Six stands for the prosecution. They call the accused his sacrificial lambs. In every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname, I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty. Is that it?
Well, if that's the case, we should inform me, Inspector. Then yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Miss Naruto secured the verdict of not guilty.
Ah. And what of it?
Oh? Well, I mean, I think
Nice try, Justice Sato.
that means that even against the Reaper or the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant.
No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Magnus McGill became a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you cannot really say you saved the defendant, can you? What are you saying? Look, if Van Zis could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. Magic? I'd have a good long thought. I had a good long think about that, if I were you. Oh my goodness. So he didn't just come from the underworld, he's also a sorcerer. Oh! Are we really supposed to believe that? Of course you're supposed to believe that. You don't mess with magic, motherfucker. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. Alright, well, I feel the rain as I've requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. I'm still carrying out a few investigations there.
You was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place.
That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. You branded him a criminal already? He is as good as. Shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. I give you a chocolate if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you... 53? Okay. Inmate 53. Thank you. I feel like somebody is laughing right now. Like, I don't see them. And technically I don't hear them, but I can sense their presence. It's as if they were laughing at me when I hear this number. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Well, this is something to think about. Like, let's say that we are gonna have a case where our defendant is truly innocent, and we save them. We make their day, and we find the true culprit, and it's all happy, happy, happy. But let's see. I guess in that case, we shall see what their fate is gonna be after the case. If we're talking about defendants dying because they were guilty, or defendants are dying because, well, no matter what.
Is something troubling you, Miss Naruto? To tell the truth, when I recalled the trial yesterday, I cannot stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... well... if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too.
Well, but if the man they're arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny.
So...
if I'm honest, I was still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But, you know what, I'd like to try. So I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Would you help? Alright, team, let's go ahead with fresh new minds for this case.
did you really think you had to ask? I don't know. I'm your judicial assistant.
Alright, thank you, Sato. So then, shall we?
Yes! Let's go!
Alrighty then. No more debating it. Let's go to... actually, let's go to... Let's go to prison first. Our interest would be to see what our defendant is like, so that we begin our process of having a relationship, a trusty relationship between the defendant and defense attorney. So these are British prison cells. Jesus.
Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon.
Yeah. And having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls.
Oh, don't, Miss Naruto. You're making it seem worse.
Susato, you're kidding me with that face. Apparently, our client is in the cell here. But it's so dark at the back there, I cannot make him out. I wonder what he's like. 53. Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop hiding at the back of the cell and show your face at once. Am I? My cat? Is yet we no name? Call me by a number. It's utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer.
Miss Naruto, what do you think is going on here?
I have no idea. But I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Oh. Hello there. Excuse me, but... Shh! Quiet! They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it. Right. So, can I ask you... Wait, there you are! You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost. A ghost?
You mean you no harm, prisoner-san? Are you Japanese, by any chance?
This is... beyond my wildest dreams! Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. I'm just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing the sweet sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here, in this damp dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment! So fucking extreme! Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongard assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese? What compassion my fellow countrymen show! To dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. You are a foreign student? Noble, nurturing, never-falling Nippon! A first-class lawyer? Oh dear. I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here.
I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example?
Yeah. I can. I will. Shunt, stay, stolen, and silent.
not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy.
Yeah. Debatable. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as he said. My name is Uno Noskinorodo. And I am Noby Grant, assistant detective for the defense attorney.
And I'm Naruto-san's judicial assistant, Satimi Kotoba.
I am a physics student, sent here by our government. Notoriously named Natsume. Sosuke Natsume. Okay, well, before you go ahead and do your Henshina Go-Go thing over here, let's talk about you, Soseki Natsume. Soseki Natsume-san? What an unusual name. Why would it be unusual? Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see. A writer of haiku. Ooh, haiku. It's something of a nom de plume. A nom de what? Plums? I am hungry for some plums. You mean an alias?
That's right, Naruto-san.
No! Don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that. And haiku?
That reminds me of home. Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student, sent over here by the government?
Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English. First I had to suffer that misery. And now this. It's beyond the pale. I don't know. This really makes me feel like we're talking about some parallelism over here. In the sense that if we're not careful, Ryunosuke is gonna end up behind the bars. Just like this guy. I mean, it's certainly not the first time. We're gaining some experience in that department. Suffer that misery. Did you not want to study here? No, I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course. Oh. But just because the government tells you to do something, does it mean you can do it? No!
What do you mean?
If they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. I mean, that's my field. But no, they told me to study English language. Totally, unbelievably, unjustly, unreasonable, unacceptable! I see.